Hey guys, it's Will with Dojo Kyle, and I'm excited to be coming to you with episode 5 of our Instagram live show. Hey, there's Roxy. Hello. And we're having Roxy join us to talk about her experience training as well as her kids training with us at the dojo. And uh, Roxy's been, I want to say, training for, oh, there she is. Let me see. Hey, WJP. Thanks for hopping on here. Roxy, give me just one here, and we will rock and roll. Oh, says we're. Hey, there she is. Hey, Roxy. And who are these guys with you? There's Gabriel and Emmanuel. All right. Thanks for being here, y'all.
Make it
So, uh, so Roxy, I was just telling everyone watching that I'm trying to remember how. So, can you give us a little background on how the boys got started in training, and then how you got started in training as well, and about how long have they been training? About how long have you been training?
The boys started after we met at a church festival. I think you guys were out there recruiting at Santa Cruz.
Oh,
We got the sign up. Came in and they did it. Been maybe like 4 years.
wow, it's just flying by.
But yeah, Manny's fixing to be 8, so it's been about 4 years.
No, I'm 8. Ready?
Oh yeah, you're 8. So yeah,
I'm
4 years.
about to
So
turn
maybe
10.
maybe fixing to be 5 for the boys.
Wow, that's great. And then you got started more recently, right?
Yes, it's fixing to be a year in the summer. I think this summer will be a year.
Outside.
And
And
I
what
had
inspired you to get going after these guys have been training for their four plus years?
I had been wanting to start, but I was always so nervous just going in there by myself. I finally convinced a few ladies to go with me to the first class. And then also the boys, they've been put there like, hey, mom, how come you don't do it? We do it. There's other adults that do it. And there's a little push / encouragement from them.
That's awesome.
Keep up
And I
with it.
think that's a great way of getting going, coming in with someone you already know or a friend who's training and yeah, it just gives you that extra level of comfort. So I think that's a really smart strategy for getting going. Um, and so, Gabriel and Emmanuel, can you guys tell us what have you been liking? You've been doing jiu-jitsu 4 years now. What have you guys been liking about your training?
Gabriel, you want to go first?
Yeah. I'm gonna go first.
What have you been liking about? Oh, go ahead. Excuse me. Sorry.
Okay. I like the lessons that you teach us.
You like the lessons? Okay, that's cool.
Discipline, healthy eating, reading.
And have you been working hard on that stuff?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's what I'd like to hear. And Emmanuel, what about you? What do you like about your practice?
What do you like about jiu-jitsu?
You're not sure? I'll come back. I'll come back to you, but it's all right.
I have
All right.
one.
What's that?
I have one.
Go look into the camera and tell.
Every single day, I get to practice and at home, I like that. And whenever we go, I want to pay attention.
Oh, that's good. And have you been having fun training with your brother and now having your mom train and everyone in the family practices now? Has it been fun for you? All right, cool. And so, and I get, and so Roxy, when these guys were getting going, I mean, I know you had said, you saw us at Santa Cruz but what kind of was your thought process behind this would be a good activity for them to begin?
At the beginning, it was just trying to get them to stay busy. With two boys and the of the energy that they had, I was just trying to fill in the gaps everywhere I could. I was just like, what can I do to get these guys tired by, bedtime and get me and so that's kind of a little bit of, let's try this, figure out. My brother did jujitsu, and so we knew a little bit, but not a whole lot. And then maybe like I would say after like the first 2-3 weeks, everything that you guys just kind of really started playing into their life. And that really is what kept me going with them. I mean, yes, I wish they become great martial artists. And as far as like the skills, the life lessons you guys teach, it's become a lifestyle for them that, they can't stop now. It has to keep going. And so that's what I right now the most, the discipline that they get. Like Gabriel said, the small stuff, the daily one step things that they can do to improve themselves. Your book club right now, I mean, we're in the car reading, and I'm just like, okay, I wish I would have that much when I was young, but
sure,
those things, I feel I didn't have and that they're getting, that I'm just like, we have to keep going with this.
That's awesome. That's awesome, and that's one of the things I was talking about with Coach Josh just yesterday. One of the things you were saying, because Coach Josh, I think he said he was 14, but it's like, man, he's been doing it since he was Gabriel and Emmanuel's age, and so I just wish someone would have told me when I was a kid, hey, you could be at a advanced level or even an expert level by the time you're 14 or 15. You could have be really highly skilled at something. And I don't think when I was 14 or 15, I wasn't highly skilled at anything. So I think, yeah, a lot of the training and the teaching is like, if I could redo it for myself, what would I, like you're saying, I wish I would have read more as a kid. So how can we encourage these guys to do more of their reading? And I feel like Gabriel and Emmanuel have taken to it like fish in the water. These guys have been some serious students. And I'm always so impressed when we're doing our Zoom classes. I can ask, a question about the book we're reading, like right now, The Way of the Warrior Kid, and boom, these guys are on it with their responses, and in my opinion, showing some really great confidence, because I think a lot of our students know, but they're kind of shy to say it in front of the group. But Gabriel and Emmanuel have that confidence to get out there and put themselves out there. And then what really impresses me as well is, man, I would say 9 times out of 10, these guys just hit the nail on the head with their answers. So I can tell that they're putting in some hard work at home, not only on their Zoom training and practice, but also on the extra stuff, right? Yeah, the self-discipline and the reading. So that's been really great. And so Roxy, for your own training, can you tell us just kind of a year in, and what have you been liking about it, or where are some areas you felt like you've had some personal growth or anything like that?
On a personal level, what I've liked is definitely the health benefits of working out. Even though I've never been a cardio person, so I can't run miles. But the workout that we get, the self defense tactics that we get, I like the way you guys train, where it's, whether you're doing jiu-jitsu as a sport or is it a self defense, alternative, which way would you be facing and use that you guys teach. So the alternative when we're in class, you're like, if this was in the street guy scenario, how would these disciplines apply? Sometimes it's different when you're in the classroom. It's kind of like when you're studying, you're in the classroom, but how do you apply it to real life situations?
Sure.
Explain to us, as out there in the world, it's how you would do something like this. It might be perfect, but this is how yourself will come into play. So that's really cool. And I think just my energy level, I feel great. I work nights, so sometimes working before work. Right now, I've been missing that, but definitely working out. It just makes me feel I'm able to keep up with these guys.
That's awesome.
Not getting I need something.
No, you need energy to keep up with those guys. I know, that's for sure. And yeah, and I think. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. That was it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I'm 100% with you. We were talking about that in class tonight because Coach Ellen's been. I think she's trying to run. It's something crazy. To me, it's crazy. Maybe not to her, but it's like 300 miles over a certain number of months. Like, I don't know. Or probably not by the 4th of July, but by some deadline, she's going to have run 300 miles. And so yesterday she was saying she ran 10, and today she ran 6. And someone asked me, like, what's the most you've ever continuously run? And I was like, man, I think like 1.5 miles or 2 miles, right? Like, I'm not into the whole running thing. So thank goodness for jiu-jitsu helping us get some cardio work in without having to go pound the pavement, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys so much for being on here with me tonight. And before we hop off, is there anything, Gabriel or Emmanuel, is there anything y'all want to add? Is there anything else you want to say about your training or about your practice? Oh, I forgot to ask you guys, and anyone can answer. It doesn't have to be Gabriel or Emmanuel. Roxy, we'd love to hear from you. But what would y'all say to a new student who's just thinking about getting started, or they just got started? What would you tell them to make their training life easier or better?
Adults would be just definitely give yourself a chance to try it out. I regret that it took me that long to get started because a lot of it does come intimidating when you see a lot of these guys, their videos. You know, a lot of people associate with the discipline and stuff, and you know, you're looking at some videos and you're like, I can never do that. But you know, once I've been to class, the breakdown, the step by step, it definitely, you know, things Coach Ryan would show us. I'm like, you want me to do what again? My life, and then when you do it, like, you know, your mindset changes, and you're like, well, okay, maybe I can do it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, you know. It comes into later as you're getting better, but definitely give yourself the chance to try it in. You know, the first week, 2 weeks, you might be sore. Just keep coming at it. So that's definitely an adult perspective.
That's great advice, and yeah, and I think that's dead on. Doesn't have to be perfect, and I think a lot of one thing I've noticed that some people have a misconception. Not everyone, but some people are familiar with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu through MMA. So there's like this kind of concern, like I'm going to the fight club or something like that. But I feel like it's a friendly environment, and we do our best to ease people in and don't throw them into the deep end of the pool. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Well, and I think that the dojo offers both sides, I guess, with some of the guys that train there. You know, you definitely have the coaches that definitely, you know, don't throw you into the pool. But I know there's some people that might actually flourish and enjoy the deep end of the pool on the first week. Some guys in there, I know that could help, you know, have that encouragement right away where you're like, hey, you know, I know some adult guys that are like, oh, I can do more than that. On that side of the pool.
That's a great way of putting it. It's like it can.
I think that's a good way to attract all kinds of people.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect way of putting it. It can kind of meet you at your level, right? Like if you want to ease in, man, we got some great systems and procedures to ease you in. And then for some people, and I guess I have to, I didn't get eased in. For me, it was just jump in and hopefully learn how to swim, right? And it not with Coach Ryan or not with the dojo, but that was kind of my beginning. And yeah, I would say for most people that easing in process is the way to go. But yeah, you're absolutely right. There is that skill level where some people can push you as well. So thank you guys so much for jumping on here with me tonight, and can't wait to see you in person for some of our in-person classes or on Zoom for our Zoom classes. And Gabriel and Emmanuel, reread that chapter 12 of our book so you can be brushed up and ready to go for tomorrow, all right?
All right.
All right. Thanks, Roxy. Thanks, Gabriel. Thanks, Emmanuel. Good seeing y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.